today I'm going to do a tutorial on my piñata that I'm going to make for Daisy's birthday. It is a garden themed party, and so this is going to be a beehive piñata. I'll show a picture of the piñata that I'm basing mine after. The first step is going to be making the base of the piñata, and for that I'm using an old balloon. This balloon is probably like 6 years old, so I'm really hoping it doesn't pop halfway through. I do have one spare balloon, but if that one pops as well, I may have to go out and buy more balloons. So we'll see. My materials to start off with: balloon. I have a bowl to hold the balloon in place. I've got a newspaper, just a local one, that I had my wonderful fiance cut into strips, but I didn't, but he left them on so that I could snip them as I needed, so I didn't just have like a giant bowl of newspaper strips. And normally I would use like glue and water or Mod Podge and water, but I cannot find my glue or Mod Podge, so today I'm using water and flour. I don't know the mixture, I just kind of threw a bunch of flour into a bowl and filled it with water until it was of a consistency that I knew like the paper wouldn't be soaked with flour, but would definitely harden. So yeah, I'm gonna start that and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Okay, so now I've completely covered the balloon that is exposed. I don't want to paper mache the bottom part of the balloon until the top has dried, because until the top dries there's going to be a lot of moisture pulling down to the bottom, and then the bottom just, it won't dry. Even if I flip it, there'll be some sort of tacky, it just won't dry right. So I'm going to go ahead and let it dry. I'm not 100% sure how long it's going to take, but I'm going to put it outside. It's kind of a wind-free day, so I'm going to see if I can put it outside and if that will help it dry faster. But yeah, I will check in with you guys at the next step. So I have finished paper macheing my piñata. As you can see, it is fully covered. I didn't end up filming the second part because I had a little piñata mishap. My back door was open so that my piñata could dry on a stool, and a wind took it and threw it in a bush, and it popped. So I had to do the whole thing over again, and I ended up doing the whole thing in one sitting. I don't know whether I'd recommend that. I think I would still recommend doing it in layers. It took forever to dry, like 3 days, and then I had to touch up some spots. So yeah, definitely not the most effective way of doing it, but I was just, after having done like half of it once and then having to do it all over again, I didn't want to have to do it a third time and sit down and finish it. So I just went ahead and did the whole thing. It turned out well. There are definitely some weak spots, some spots that give a little bit. I'm not too concerned. This is a piñata for 1-year-olds, so 1 and 2-year-olds. So I know it's not going to be something that is going to have to be super strong. I have some 3 and 4-year-olds coming that are siblings, so I know that I will be able to count on them to break it if all else fails, but I think it'll be good. Right now I'm going to fill my piñata. Now that I have finished, it's dried, I've popped and pulled out my balloon, it's time to fill. So I'm filling my piñata with small toys. We already have a lot of treats at our party, and so I don't really think it's necessary to fill it with candy, and it's really hard to find candy that I would be okay with giving to toddlers. So yeah, small toys was my choice. The first small toy I chose was bouncy balls. These were clear with little stars. I thought they were cute and gender neutral, so those are going in. Yeah, I got 14, because I think that's about how many kids will be there, hopefully. If all else fails and we have like 15 kids, I'll probably go back to Party City anyway to return some stuff, because I got supplies that I may not need. So if all else fails, some kid can have daisies and I'll just get her one separately. The other thing I'm filling with are little slinkies in different shapes. I thought they were cute. They're not sharp. They're made of plastic. They're colorful. And I think Daisy will get a kick out of the different shapes. And I'm sure that the other kids will too. So those are going in. And then the last thing that I have is more theme related than the other two. The other two were just things that I was okay with putting in my toddler piñata. This is more of like theme related, and it's plastic bugs, and I already put them in. I'm just saving one sheet or section or whatever from this pack to spread on the table. But yeah, little bugs. There's ants and centipedes and caterpillars and praying mantis and dragonflies and regular flies and beetles and spiders. So I lucked out because most of those are like, you know, garden-y type bugs. So yeah, that is the last bit that's in here, and the next step is going to be sealing it up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 2 small holes on either side here, and I'm going to weave through a piece of twine, and then I'm going to tie it in the middle, so the piece of twine will loop in both sides, tie in the middle, and then I'm going to paper mache over the top here to close it off completely. I'm pretty sure that's how I'm going to do this. I'm a little nervous. I don't know how it will hold up. I know with a lot of times, like piñatas, that's the first thing to go is the anchor string or whatever. So it may not hold up, but I'll try it, and I'll have some twine ready at the party in case it does not work out. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will show you guys when it's done. Alright, I have secured my string. It is in 2 spots. I picked 2 of the sturdiest spots that felt thickest, and I went ahead and just sliced a hole in it with my scissors, and then I pushed some string through and tied it in the middle. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paper mache the hole closed, and I may also do some over the holes that the string is going through as well, just to thicken it up just that much more. Alright guys, I just finished paper macheing the top of my balloon. I'm not going to pull it up because it's definitely still wet and I don't want to compromise the work that I've done, but I'm going to show you guys, so bear with me here. So I have put a complete top layer on of 2 layers, nothing crazy. I did layer around the strings for the holes, so hopefully in a day or two, when this is completely dry, I'll be able to start putting on the tissue paper. I have started putting its final touches on to make it look like a honeycomb, and what I'm doing to do that is I'm using some goldenrod streamers, and I'm cutting them in about 2-inch strips, and I'm gluing them on. I know this isn't perfect. I had some issues starting out, but it should look pretty good when it's done. But yeah, basically I'm just going it on to strips so that I had to start upside down so that I could do the bottom part, and then I flipped it, and yeah, I'm just gluing strips on to create that sort of layered honeycomb look. So I will show you guys when it's all done, and as you can see, it's fallen once or twice and it's not fully dry yet, so that's something to definitely be aware of as you're doing this, that when it's not fully dry it will crinkle a little bit. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys when it's complete. YouTube, so this is the rough finished piñata. I'm going to go around now and trim all the edges that don't line up. So any points that you see where it doesn't line up, I'm going to try and trim it and clean it up a little bit, and then I will show you guys the end result. I wanted to get on and show you guys the finished piñata. Here it is. It is a beehive, and I've cleaned up most of the edges. It's still not perfect. I probably will still over the next week go through and just pick little corners to cut and whatnot. But yeah, it's finished. I wanted to share with you guys some tips that I had, ways that I deviated from the original tutorial, which I will link below. I originally started out with yellow tissue paper, which I could show you guys, and that does not work. So definitely go with the streamers. This is goldenrod. I got it on Amazon. I believe the tutorial has a link to a website that you can get it on as well. Definitely go with the streamers. They are the perfect width, and all you have to do is just cut them into lengths. I'm going to go ahead and put this down because it's kind of hard to hold. Now the tutorial does say to cut them in 3-inch lengths. I would actually recommend 2 inches, only because, well, if you're doing a size, the similar size that I'm doing, if you do a bigger size, 3-inch might work. But the issue with 3-inch in this size is when you're putting it on a rounded surface, the tips tend to angle down more and you end up cutting more at the end. So I found halfway through that if I did 2 inches, it worked better. And then up at the top, doing a 1-inch, and actually for that last little bit up at the very top, doing 1 inches and cutting them at angles so that they come together at a square, and then you can just round the edges, because otherwise if you cut them straight, you end up with a lot of tiny pieces doing this, and you have to cut a lot more off. So I would definitely recommend that. What else? I did the first half of my balloon with flour and water. I would recommend adding a little Elmer's glue into there because it really did harden it up. And as for my bees, I'll go ahead and show you guys really quick. It says on there what to do, but it's just a black pom-pom and a yellow pom-pom, a little bit of pipe cleaner wrapped around, and then some vellum just cut into wings, and it's all hot glued together and then hot glued on. So yeah, that is my finished piñata. I'm really happy with it, and I hope that you guys try it out yourselves. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.